And so, the Dread Infernal will clear up most of this board for us. And I would say that this game is all but over. We'll play the taunt for good measure. And that's an interesting weapon. Fool's Bane. I have memories of Fool's Bane. There was once a point in the meta a long time ago when that weapon saw play. Briefly.
What is it?
And our opponent wants to target our face. They can't. However, this does let them clear up most of the board. So is this a comeback for the Pirate Warrior? They are down to 9 health. Now, maybe we could find lethal with a Kazakus. However, where's the fun in that? Gul'dan, that's where the fun is. We have 3 taunts on the board. I think it's going to be impossible to get through. Now, maybe that weapon would be pretty good under different circumstances. Here, it's not going to help them. Neither is the captain. And neither is that brigand. So, we were able to outlast this Pirate Warrior. Reno Jackson played a massive part in that strategy of outlasting them and then outvaluing them with minions. Okay, what deck am I playing today? This is even Reno Warlock. Or Reno Evenlock. Is that a better way of putting it? Yeah, that's the better way of putting it. And this is from a player called DudeWithConniptions. Is that how I pronounce your name? I think it is. So I found this deck on Reddit. Now, Reno Evenlocks, you don't see them on the ladder. So to me, this deck is unique, it's interesting, and it's a lot of fun to play. Is it the most effective deck on the ladder? Definitely not. But it definitely has matchups that it can win. Now, on the Reddit thread, one of the key questions was, how does this deck do against meta decks? And the deck author responded. So, against Questline Warlock, the deck author explains that you need to stick one big giant on the board early on, hit them in the face early, get them low enough so they can't afford to take damage for their questline completion. Against Questline Hunter, it's a similar strategy. Hit them hard with big minions early, then they can't have time to complete the quest and kill you, and keep Reno in the Hunter matchups because they may waste resources on killing your giants early on, and then if you can get Reno Jackson down, they'll have run out of resources for hitting you in the face. The deck author also explains that you can beat Tax Paladin if you draw early removal. So, this deck has good matchups. I faced 2 Questline Warlocks. I lost both matchups. So if you can avoid Questline Warlock, I honestly think this deck stands a pretty decent chance against a lot of other stuff that's out there. And against other aggressive opponents, Reno Jackson, I think, really is key and can help you make a big comeback. So let's have a look at the deck in action then on the Wild Mode ladder. We're joining this game in progress against an Odd Warrior. Now, this is an Odd Warrior game. These games tend to go on forever, so I will spare you the effort and the time needed to watch an entire game against Odd Warrior. We'll join this in progress. This brawl is interesting. 3 versus 3 on that board. Who gets lucky? I get lucky. Wow.
Embrace nothing.
And hitting face for 8 there is such a big deal. Look at all of these resources in my hand. We are outvaluing our opponent. So many choices. So many different things that we can do.
Shields up.
And not knowing what to do,
Fresh out of the
I'm just playing 2 minions. Almost just for tempo. Both of those minions that I played are good utility cards, but here I just want 2 bodies, 2 additional bodies on the board. And we'll see how our opponent responds, because the key here is to basically outlast all of their board clears. I want them to expend all of their board clears before I play Gul'dan. And then I want Gul'dan to seal the game. We've already seen a Brawl. We've seen a Shield Slam. We've seen both Reckless Flurries. You can see the opponent's deck on the left-hand side. There's the second Shield Slam. It's good news. And now I want to see the second Brawl. And once I see that, I'll be happy to play Gul'dan. Also worth noting, it looks like the Molten Giant won't be seeing any play in this game. And as we head into the late game, and we don't have many cards left in our deck, we do have to question how often we want to tap. As fatigue will become a very real problem soon enough. Wow, that's a good Ziliax there. Healing for 6. Still doesn't kill my taunt though. Still doesn't kill my taunt. Alright, will this bring out the Brawl? Here's the question. And once again, no need to tap. That's not a Brawl. That's card draw. Okay, no Brawl. Now you're going to tank 8 again. Ouch. Okay. If they have Brawl, maybe we need a little bit more commitment onto our board to tease it out. And we are threatening lethal pre-armor up and pre-trade. Okay. I'd quite like to get my Flesh Giant, which is still to come. And there it is, for 0. Beautiful. Now I want a clear board upon which to play the Giant, so I'm going to play the Doomsayer. I'm going to assume they can't clear it. No, they can't. Okay. So, clean board for us. Initiative to us. Oh, that's a huge pickup. So this is 16 damage being threatened here. They can tank up out of range. Or heal up out of range. Okay. You can just jam both of these face. Ooh. No need to commit that just yet. Dark Alley Pact. Summon a fiend with stats equal to your hand size is what that spell says. Massive resource commitment here to clear the 8/8. Wow. This warrior is running on fumes here. Fatigue setting in. But I don't think it matters. Again, I want to force out a brawl before I commit Gul'dan. I'm just being very, very patient with this. Maybe too patient, you could argue. Light the fuses. Is that it? In your hand? Yes, it is. Okay, so as far as I'm aware, all of the major AoE removal should be gone now. That was a very lucky brawl. However, Gul'dan should now seal the deal. We're going to finish this game at 40 health, including armor. A spectacular result. Okay, our next game is against Druid. I'm looking at this Zephyrus and I'm thinking I could keep it. Zephyrus is quite flexible as a card, and depending on the kind of Druid that I'm facing, could prove to be useful to react to a certain situation put out onto the board.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
Our opponent has a very interesting name, of course. So I have been facing a number of Quest Druids, and this is another Quest Druid. Do you know what? It makes me so happy to see Quest Druid. It really does. So I'm a big fan of that deck, on Standard and on Wild. So for people to see it as viable, I think that's a great thing. Now please note, we are playing here on the Legend ladder. And not as a particularly high Legend ladder either. This is the lower ranks of the ladder. And I think that could skew what we face. If this was the Diamond ladder or the High Legend ladder, I guess you'd be facing a lot more of the Tier 1 decks more frequently. Playing at this rank is quite nice. It does feel like there's a little less pressure. Wow, Oaken Summons into the Panther. That is really cool. My brain is conditioned, is used to seeing Oaken Summons bring out a big taunt. Or a Vargoth. Choices. What do we do here? Was there a better play that we could have utilised there? I guess we killed the minion, that's a good thing. Okay, our opponent really, really wants to complete their quest line. Now the key card I think we're looking for here is Reno Jackson. Our face, in theory, is going to take a lot of damage as they continue to progress through their quest line. Reno will negate that damage once we find it. Ooh, that's a good pickup. And it costs 1. I love that card, by the way. That demon, whose name I can't pronounce. So, Anetheron, is that how you say it? Such an awesome card. I really love it. This is a pretty challenging board. 2/8 attack minions for the Druid. These two will make short work of the armour. Now I've seen Quest Druid in standard mode. In wild mode, there's more flexibility with the deck, I think, in terms of spells and defensive options. Let's see what our opponent could do against both of these heavy hitters. Oh, interesting. This must mean they're going to tank 8, right? Remove one of these from the board? No! Put me to 7. Okay. They see victory in their sights. They think that these demons are not enough to kill them. They'd be correct. However, I can taunt up the board. There are options here. I have Sun Fury Protector.
Shields up.
And to be absolutely safe, I'm going to get the healing spell, the 2-cost healing spell, Holy Light. I mean, Wind Fury is so tempting. Really is so tempting. But it's not lethal. So it doesn't matter. You see, because this is wild mode, and things are a little bit more unpredictable compared to standard, I don't want to take the risk of being burst down with some weird combination of spells from hand. Hence the need to heal. Even though I've got these taunts on the board. Like double swipe, for example, would be a problem. Things like that. And because it's wild mode, as I say, you never know what's going to be in your opponent's deck. It's all so unpredictable. And I love that. It's great. Alright. Still got 2 big taunts in the way. We're at 10. That should still be fine, right? Maybe I should be holding off on tapping going forward.
Nobody messes with my
Okay. 8 attack. Oh, they get another one to hand. I have a dirty rat. I could play the rat and aim to pull it from the hand. Maybe.
You are defenders of a doom.
Or do we even care? If I rat, do I have enough on board to kill both of them?
Bones to gnaw on.
Maybe not. Maybe I don't. I think this is fine. So even if they could somehow silence our minion and then try and hit face, we'd still be alive, right? They only get +8 attack when they play that again. So we should be fine. Again, thinking back to whether I should have been tapping at this stage of the game. See, usually by now, Reno Jackson would have shown up, and I'd feel a lot safer. Okay. There was no way through the taunt. Okay, our next game. It's another druid. I have been facing a lot of druids at this point in the ladder. That makes me very, very happy. So I'm keeping Zephyrus because there's a level of flexibility associated with that card, and I'm keeping Reno too, just in case. It may not be Quest Druid, it could be some kind of aggro druid, and therefore I do feel a lot safer with Reno and Zephyrus available to me. Kazakus is the icing on the cake. It's a good option too for board clears. But let's see what happens with our opponent. Okay.
We have turned our curse into our strength.
So the ability to tap on turn 1 with this deck I think is significant. Just feels like it puts you a little further ahead in terms of your resource gain and generation. I think that's pretty cool. Okay, another Quest Druid. Or Questline Druid. If we're going to be efficient here, I guess we play the minion rather than tapping. And I think with Reno in hand, I can't lose this game. They can whack me in the face as much as they want as they complete their quest line. And I'll just play Reno and heal back to 30. But before that, they need to get through my taunts. And as you can see here, that taunt has done a pretty good job of blocking the way. A choice there of a 2-4 taunt versus a 2-3 taunt. I guess 2-4 is better stats. Right, here they go. But this damage has to go into my taunts. It ain't going to my face. That makes me really happy. Archwitch Willow will be a really nice thing for later. Come turn 8, we should be able to play Willow and get the Forge Fiend down onto the board as well. Oh, that's really nice for them. They've neutralised both of my taunts in one go. Zephyrus for a solution to that problem on the board. Okay, SI7 agent is fine. Maybe I should have tapped first. But if I had 2 mana available, what would Zephyrus have given me? Eviscerate? So is this just strictly better because we get a 3-3 body on the board alongside Zephyrus? I think it is better like this. And we have Entitled Customer in our hand. Unless this druid plays minions extensively on the board, I don't think we're going to get any value from it. On Standard, I have seen minion heavy builds of Quest Druid. Glowfly Swarm, I think it is, I've seen played.
Time waits for no one.
So that's a version I've seen on Standard, but on Wild, not so much. Druid's still thinking here. What are they thinking about? Okay. Thinking about whether to attack my face or not. Sure. We're still in a really healthy position here. 21 health. Kazakus, I think, is the only thing I can realistically play here. I guess Dirty Rat is another option, and hope that I can trade into whatever comes down onto the board. Sure. 7 armor, I think, seems decent.
Hey, lights out.
Sure, 7 armor's good. We do have a little bit of damage to put down if there is a wide board that comes through, but I doubt that's going to be the case. Now I'm just waiting for this turn 8. So I can play Archwitch Willow. So they are not too far off now from completing their quest line. But I do have Reno in the far left of my hand, ready to use him when needed. I wish the Druid would speed this up a bit, but they are clearly putting some thought in what they need to do. I respect that. And I imagine this is going face. It is. Now, if I was not playing the Highlander version of Evenlock, if this was a traditional Evenlock, maybe I would be concerned with my health total. Maybe I'd be concerned about the Druid's ability to burst me down. But with Reno available, I fear nothing. I am fearless. Okay. We haven't put much of a dent in their health total yet because of the armor gain. But it doesn't matter. All we need to do is wait for them to complete their quest line, outlast the damage that they then do, play Reno, and then continue playing our big threats. And then we should be fine. If need be, eventually we have Gul'dan for a wide board, and that should seal the game. Oh, targeted phase swipe. They are setting me up for something. They know that they can outlast my board damage. Doesn't look too bad at the moment. Okay. Do I want to play the Dreadlord from hand, or do I want to play Willow? Willow is fine. Either of the demons she drags onto the board have got taunt, right? Do I want to do that, or do I want to heal? Do I want to Reno Jackson? I'm feeling a little scared, thus the need to Reno. Yeah. We saw swipe to the face, and I would have wondered what I was being set up for. Could there have been another swipe, and then some spells from hand that could have directly targeted my face to finish me off, even with the taunts on the board? So caution here, I think, is absolutely the better choice, the safer option. Playing the Reno. Okay. They want to complete the quest line. Understandable. And here we go. 10 damage incoming. Ooh, savagery. Not seen that played for ages. So they want to kill the Reno, understandable. Perhaps concerned that maybe I've got return to hand effects. 12 damage to the face. And look how far the Druid has come in terms of negating my Reno healing.
Existence is pain, so is teaching you.
However, we have a taunt on the board now. We have Zephyrus. Two taunts on the board. Two barriers to get through. I don't see it happening. I think this is game over. Even though the Druid is at quite a healthy life total. Would Zephyrus give us lethal next turn with something like Bloodlust or Savage Roar? Just trying to do the math here. No, they concede. Okay. Happy days. Alright, let's look at one final game. Our second warrior opponent. We face two druids. This will be our second warrior. And I'm so thrilled that I haven't been facing many tier 1 decks. In particular, of course, I'm referring to Warlock. With Dark Glare and the quest line. I guess that's the pleasant thing about playing at this rank on the Legend ladder.
Fly
Ooh, it's Pirate Warrior, but without the quest line. Interesting.
Pirates away!
I guess in the sense of playing an aggro deck, you want a proactive turn 1 play, an aggressive turn 1 play. If you play the quest on turn 1, and if you do nothing else, that's not very proactive, right? If you don't play the quest, you get to do something like this,
Glory! I'm here for the gold.
which is very proactive. And our Doomsayer has just died. I was not counting on the freebooter to come down. I guess the other concerning thing would have been coin South Sea Captain. And now I'm a little bit concerned that I could get aggro down before we can stick a big taunt on the board. Or before we get Reno Jackson.
Someone's got to lead the charge.
Okay, don't play anything else. Ooh, and armor up. Well, that's a luxury. A Pirate Warrior not using all of their mana on an early turn is a big luxury. And there's Reno Jackson. There's our saviour for turn 6. We just need to survive until turn 6. I think we will. The Void Caller is going to do some serious work, potentially, depending on what it pulls onto the board.
A diet high in iron.
If it pulls the Forge Fiend, we're very happy. If it pulls Anetheron, we're less happy. But we're still happy, because it's a big minion. Oh, if it pulls that, we're a bit sad. So we're going to play that. Alright, we're at 13. What are the chances that we would die on this turn? Very unlikely with the taunt in the way. And at this point, you see, I'm so desperate to play Anetheron for 1. But I don't think we're going to get that chance, unfortunately. Oh, pushing a lot here. Putting us down to 6 health. So normally we'd probably be dead at this point. However, we do have Reno Jackson. We're going to be rich. Maybe I could have played Raised Dead there before the Reno. Oh, there's a Sky Barge. Trading is good. We like trading. Not going face. Also very good. Okay. Our minions have died, but they've tanked a lot of damage in the process. Hysteria looks very interesting here. And we get the Reno back to hand. That is beautiful. So holding off on the Raised Dead was a good strategy, for sure. But yes, Anetheron, you are defenders of a doomed world. I love that entrance. I love that entrance. We have the insurance policy that is Reno Jackson. Have Void Caller that hopefully you can pull out the Forge Fiend. Our opponent's hopes are all going to be placed here on the Sky Barge, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Oh wow, Leroy Jenkins. For a trade! Oh my goodness, you'd love to see it. Look at the trades. This is Control Pirate Warrior. Okay. They want to protect the Sky Barge and the cannon. Understandable. 7 armor, 4 damage to all minions, sure. And I'm just going to play the Void Caller. You see, this is interesting. If the shots from the barge and the cannon hit the Void Caller, then we get the Forge Fiend onto the board. Well, that's a taunt with a very interesting death rattle of gaining 8 armor. So if that happens, it is all but game over. Wow! Hook Tusk! Oh, 2 into the Void Caller. And another 2! And there it is. Wow. That was potentially a massive turn for our opponent if there wasn't a Void Caller on the board. Because look at these trades. Okay. 4 damage, gain 7. Sure. Seems reasonable. We could rat, see what comes out from the hand. That'll do. Oh, 2 to the face. Okay, I had forgotten that ratting a pirate out would cause the cannon and the barge to go off. I'd completely forgotten. Not that it makes much of a difference at all to anything. Because this is game over next turn, I'm just going to play Gul'dan. So, once again, in a somewhat of an aggressive matchup, Gul'dan is a difference maker. Reno Jackson, and then Gul'dan a bit later on, bringing back all of those demons, including taunts. And I suspect at this point we're going to get a concede from our opponents. Hopefully they concede after we see what demons get summoned. There they all are. How beautiful they are. So, a concede incoming here. A concede.
What now?
No, our opponent still wants to play the game. Well, I guess technically they're not dead. Maybe there's a miracle draw for them. No, they choose death. Wise choice. Wise choice. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Reno Evenlock. What a fun deck. And how refreshing to play this deck on the ladder at Legend rank. Looking at the Reddit thread where I found the deck, there are other players who are saying that beating Questline Warlock is more or less impossible with this deck. So if your meta is infested with Questline Warlock, do be conscious of that and reconsider whether you want to play this deck into that pocket meta. This deck costs 13,380 dust to craft. It's very expensive. So if you are somebody that doesn't have all of the cards, and if you need to craft cards, please remember this is an off-meta deck, okay? It's a really, really fun off-meta deck, but I think that is the key to it. It's off-meta. The deck author clearly has had success with the deck, 17 wins and 6 losses at 200 Legend. But if you are playing this at, let's say, a Diamond rank, it's worth noting that your opponents are probably going to be playing the best Tier 1 decks in order to get to Legend. So please keep that in mind. You may run into a few problems if you solely rely on this deck. And quite often you're going to be dealing with a full hand of cards, so lots of decision making, lots of things to think about. Which cards do you commit on this turn? Which cards do you save for a future turn? There's a lot of thought needed. So, if you do decide to play this deck, if you got all the cards, tell me how you found it. Tell me if you thought the card inclusions are good. Tell me if you think there are other cards that you would swap in and the cards you would take out. This is a Highlander deck, and therefore things generally are quite flexible. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you all again very soon for more Wild Mode fun. Until next time, please stay safe, please look after yourselves, and as always, please be good to one another.